Good morning, Katie Munn here from Monday Musings. And today on Monday Musings, we're going to be talking about habits. So we're in the new year. So looking at our habits and what habits we partake in our daily life is so important. So the way I like to look at habits are habits that serve you and habits that don't serve you. So looking at them in the lens through good or bad necessarily isn't serving you because what you may consider a bad habit, somebody else may consider a good habit. So looking at what makes you feel good, what makes you feel nourished, what makes you feel sort of on the top of your game, something you're incorporating in your life that lifts you up, and then those things that drain you or after you're just like, why did I do that? I always wait till the last minute and then I get frustrated. And we all know we have these habits that don't serve us, but incorporating new habits into our life can be really tricky. So today we're going to talk about how to do that and how to do that with authenticity and grace and in a way that's sustainable. So I lately have been listening to Oprah's Super Soul Sundays, and I love it. By the way, it's such a great podcast if you've never heard it before. And she did an interview with this woman, I think her name's Gabriella Rubin, and she wrote the 8 Keys to Happiness, or the 8 Steps to Happiness. I'm not quite sure what the book was called. But in the book, she was talking about how our habits, we need to make them the norm. So a lot of times we hem and haw when it comes to things and changes we need to do in our life. I know I do this a lot with exercising. So I'm like, oh, I need to fit this in, but how am I going to fit it in? And I'm so busy, and then I have that meeting, and then, so I sort of like go through this whole story in my head of why I shouldn't exercise rather than just doing it, just incorporating it into my life. And it's interesting. This woman, Gabby, she was talking to me about the exact same thing. She's like, the moment I made exercising a priority, it changed my life. So instead of hemming and hawing and be really indecisive, and if you think about that, the amount of mental capacity, the amount of mental work it takes to sort of be hemming and hawing and be trying to figure things out instead of just doing it, it's a lot of mental chatter. And so deciding like, okay, I'm making the decision that I'm going to work out. And for me, I made the decision every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to yoga regardless. And, I might go on Tuesday, I might go on Thursday, I might go on the weekends, but those 3 days are set days for me to exercise, and it's kind of like a non-negotiable. So I'm going to, for this month, because right, they say to incorporate a new habit into your life is it takes about 30 days to sort of rewire the brain. And I actually have personal experience with this recently. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I decided every Monday, Wednesday, Friday that I'm going to be doing it. And I know it will be hard. And I know that, some days I may not feel like it or may not be able to squeeze it in. And sometimes I may need to tweak things a little bit. But sort of setting myself up for this is a new habit I want to incorporate in my life. And I know that this is going to take time. And I thought about this because they say it takes about 30 days to incorporate a new habit. And in Portland, Maine, on State Street, they've been doing construction work for probably 3 months. And so I've been rerouted to another street called Mellon Street. And this has been, the route that I've been taking. So now State Street's open, but I still take Mellon Street home. And I'm like halfway up Mellon Street. I'm like, why am I going on Mellon Street? State Street's totally open. But I rewired my brain. And just for the last 3 months, that's the way I've been going home. And so I incorporated that into my habit. So the way to incorporate good habits into your repertoire is to kind of make it a non-negotiable. So set the day, set the time. When I was in herb school, one of my lovely mentors, she said, schedule it in. Because I was like, I don't have enough time and I feel so overwhelmed. She's like, schedule it in. Schedule it in like you would a doctor's appointment, like you would, going to see a friend, like you would getting a massage, whatever it is, put it in your schedule. So it may mean outlining the schedule for your week and, saying, okay, so I never eat good food for lunch and I know I want to eat, really good food and I always end up getting something on the go. So I'm going to schedule in every Sunday afternoon to, have a prep day and make a big batch of soup or, prep sandwiches for the week or whatever it may be. You have that set as your designated time. Understanding that it takes about a month to rearrange these habits. So you need to be really dedicated. You need to be, committed to rearranging your life, rearranging your patterns, rearranging your behaviors, and being open to being flexible. So we all have lives and we all love routines, but sometimes those routines get interrupted. Let's say every Friday night you and your sweetie have a date night and your friend invited you to like a bachelorette party on a Friday night. you're going to go to the party. So then you're going to talk to your sweetheart and be like, hey, can we do date night on Saturday instead? Because I have this thing that I need to go to. For my yoga thing today, I don't know, I have a little virus. I'm feeling really run down and really tired. And I'm just like, I don't even know if I have the energy for yoga. So I might stay home and just do some gentle movement. I might try to find a yin class, or maybe I'll just go to tomorrow, or, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or something like that. Getting the 3 days in, but understanding sometimes life interrupts you. And thinking about the habits that don't serve you, really looking at your life and looking at the way you structure your life. The way you structure your life, and kind of the way your ego is attached to certain patterns or behaviors. So a lot of times we make excuses. We say like, oh, that's just the way I am. So I'm always late. That's just the way I am. Or I always do X, Y, or Z, and that's just the way I do it. So our ego sort of becomes attached to this behavior that isn't serving us, when every time you're late, people are waiting for you, or people are telling you like, hey, you're late all the time and this isn't getting done, or this isn't getting done, instead of being like, maybe I'm going to rearrange this pattern or behavior into something that serves me better, so I can really show up for myself and for my community. So thinking about, what new habits you want to incorporate in your life. It could be diet, it could be exercise, it could be meditation, it could be prayer, it could be whatever you want it to be. And then scheduling it in. So making it a priority, scheduling it in, and then practicing it for 30 days. And knowing during the 30 days, that transition period might be a little bit hard, might be a little bit uncomfortable. Sometimes you might need to rearrange things, but the only way that you are going to reach your goals, and the only way that you're going to get to a place that you want to get, is by your dedication and by incorporating these habits into your routine. So then you don't even have to think about it. It's just like, okay, every day I exercise. Okay, every Sunday I prep my meal. Okay, And a lot of times we like to say the excuse, I just don't have time. But a lot of people, if you look at a lot of people, they're doing things that are healthy and well for them. They've just come up with put systems in place that really help them reach where they want to be. So I hope you all are staying warm, having a beautiful winter thus far, beautiful new year. I love you all so, so much, and I will see you next Monday. Bye.